Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best fast food mascot.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hal, who suggested this topic?
Sure, I think you're always using an app today.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand a word of that. What were you saying?
So you use using the app today?
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and order, I guess.
Okay, well, okay.
You know what? This is fine. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Thank you.
Okay, will you take me with you?
Did you ask if I could take you with me?
Yeah, you take me with you.
Are you not able to leave of your own free will?
Pull up the second window, please.
Hey, yeah, I was just at the drive-thru. Are you okay in there? Are you in distress?
I'm fine. I'm doing really well. Just want to see the inside of that car real quick.
Sure. If I can get you out of this Grimace kid cage, then I'll put you in the car.
I'm trapped in Big Mac's head. Help me, please.
Did you grow up with those McDonald lands? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I think when I was really little, there was one, and then it was gone. By my childhood play place was the big, fuchsia plastic tubes. Fuchsia and teal plastic tubes. The Habit Trail, yeah.
And then later on, they got a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, but connected to a big kiosk, which I believe that might be the same kiosk that is now where you punch in your order. McDonald's is no fun on the inside anymore. It used to be so fun.
Yeah, it's cleaner. It doesn't have a thing that a million people touch, and then your kids touch it, and then they eat a hamburger.
It's gone full circle. It's gone from just fast food, go grab your order and leave, to, hey, we want to get kids in here, so let's make it a place where you can sit down. Yeah. And then it's come full circle back around to, nope, just grab your stuff and leave. The new one that they've just rebuilt in my neighborhood, you walk in, there's not even a menu sign anymore. It's just kiosks. You can't order at the counter. It's just a kiosk and a little open window area. And then 10 dudes who are driving Postmates standing there waiting.
It's really a sad state of affairs, but also an accurate depiction of what life is like in 2025, the year of our flying spaghetti monster. And it's it feels like it's made for quarter zips. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the kind of people you see at a corporate retreat.
Quarter zips, are those the shoes that have the pouch? No, that's Ruse.
Those are Ruse. I had a pair of those.
Ruse are back, baby. We're going full flashback to the 80s and early 90s in this one. Who suggested this topic? Do we know?
Ken Plume.
Ken Plume suggested this topic. Then we have him to thank for the nightmare that I'm going to have after going over all of these mascots.
Mark, are you implying that a number of these mascots designed to personify a different fast food brand are terrifying and repulsive?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Hal.
Who's the scariest?
You know what? I'll answer your question with a question.
Okay.
What is Grimace?
He was a milkshake.
No. Turns out. Oh, man. We're going to.
Was he a villain?
I want to talk a lot about Grimace.
Okay, let's talk about Grimace.
All right, let's talk about Grimace. Well, first you know what? We'll tease Grimace. We're going to talk about Grimace in a little bit.
A Grimace tease.
First, that's a Grimace tease. First, how do you want to approach this? Because I think we can look at what makes a good fast food mascot. They all kind of came out of the same place, which is Saturday morning cartoons and Saturday morning advertising to kids in the 1960s was where they were all born.
I thought you were going to say Satan's brain, so I'm a little bit disappointed.
A lot of them did come out of Satan's brain, I think.
I think a good place to start, I think it's very clear that makes total sense that they would come out of children's cartoons and the way things were advertised in the 60s. And then even characters who have been introduced later, they're always trying to capture the zeitgeist in some way that makes you associate with their brand in a positive way.
Yeah.
Whether it's Arby's doing their roasts on social media, it might not outwardly sell a bunch of sandwiches, but it makes you think about, like, you go, oh, they have such a smart brand. You're on their mind. And that seems to be more the goal now. How do we create a conversation around our brand rather than what will make kids beg their parents to bring them to our location, or what creature or person, thing, animal will make people trust and want to eat at our place? Like, what sticks in your mind? What makes you want to come in?
Yeah. I would argue that a TikTok feed or a social media presence is not really what we're talking about here as a mascot. That's not. Because there's some epic mascots, or there's some epic feeds out there that are doing pretty incredible and fun things.
Yes.
But we're talking about characters that were created for these assorted fast food places. I'll start you with a trivia question. Which one of these, out of all of these fast food places, had the least interest in attracting children to its restaurants? In fact, its average age, and they were proud of this, was 25 years old. Older than their target demographic was 25 and up.
Okay, so this is a mascot created to bring in people who
this
are
is
older.
Not a mascot created. This is a fast food place who had very little use for mascots, and it's one of the big ones.
I wonder. I have two in my head. Should I just guess? Or you want me to talk through it? All right, I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going to say Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Incorrect, but not what I was thinking of. You know what? Maybe they didn't have any interest in getting the kid audience until later when they animated the Colonel. But you're on the right track, because it is a real person is the mascot.
Wendy.
That is Wendy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melinda Lou was her name, but the kids couldn't say Melinda, so they said Wenda, her siblings, and so she became Wendy. Dave Thomas wanted Wendy's to be the fast food restaurant for grown-ups, which is why Wendy is not going to be a contender in this.
Also why they served baked potatoes, the thing that no kid will order ever, because you can't hold it with your hand. I mean, you can, you don't really want to. I mean, sometimes I want to, but at that point, I'm just thinking, I wish these were tater skins. I just kicked my desk. I just tried to cross my leg and kick my desk, and I scared myself into thinking there was an earthquake. Yeah. I don't even count the Melinda Lou that appears in the drawings. They don't really have people dressing up as her. It's a real person.
Right.
They've done up the logo to make her like emo or give her gray hair, but that's
the emo version is really funny. If you get a chance, go online, look at the emo version from London, I believe it was.
I think it was, it might have been. I think it was London. I think you're right.
But those are site specific. They like emo Wendy is only at that one Wendy's, and gray hair Wendy is only at, I think it's in Canada, the gray hair Wendy one.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Here's a way to approach it. Here's a pitch that I want to make for a way to approach it.
I love it.
I think that we can have a final battle between two characters. And the way we're going to pick these two characters is we're going to take one from the real world and one from the fictional world of McDonaldland. Because
just McDonaldland.
Just McDonaldland. It's so rich with them. It created this whole notion of a bullpen of characters. I think there are strong contenders in McDonaldland, strong enough contenders in McDonaldland that we can pit that against a victor from anywhere else in the world. Does that work for you?
You know what I like about this? It does. You know what I like about it the most?
What's that?
Is that it's not like, I think sometimes when we deal with a really wide ranging topic, it feels like the podcast is an in memoriam segment where we just have to get all the names in because we're afraid somebody will be like,
what about this one?
So
where do you want to start? Do you want to go to McDonaldland or do you want to go to the real world?
Let's save McDonaldland for after the commercial break. I want to understand, first of all, just a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that Chuck E. Cheese, the company, that's not fast food? That's dining casual.
It's an I was going to ask about this because here's the thing. There are a lot of great mascots that I'd love to talk about that come out of casual dining. That if we eliminate Chuck E. Cheese because he's not fast food, then we also have to eliminate some really fun characters like specifically the Noid. We can't use the Noid. That's not fast food. That's pizza.
But you can't sit down in a Domino's. You have to take it away. Isn't that by its nature fast food?
Well, now we're just crafting our definition. I guess okay. So let's figure set this out first. Then, yeah, let's set our definition of what fast food is. Because isn't just any national inexpensive brand that has a animated or anthropomorphized or in some way, cartoony mascot, or are we going specifically with fast food places? Because I would argue that Domino's isn't a fast food place. They deliver it to you. There's no drive-through. There's no.
You can go pick it up.
You can pick it up, but
you don't sit down. Like if Pizza Hut had one, I would say no way. Pizza Hut is a sit down. It's designed for you to sit there and stay there. They want you to stay a while. It's not created for turnover. I feel like Domino's is trying to churn out as many pizzas as possible, but they're very similar to Little Caesar in that they both have great mascots that are worth talking about. But maybe we save that. There must be another level to this. Like, well, here's another question. When we're talking about real life, because we're going to start there. Is Dunkin' Donuts fast food?
That was going to be, I was going to put Dunkin' Donuts into this same category.
I would too. I think it's fast food. Donuts, it's a drive-through in a lot of them.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts would be fast food then.
Yeah. If they have multiple locations with drive-throughs, I think for sure they're fast food. Let's put the Noid and Little Caesar aside and Chuck E. Cheese because that feels like a different thing.
Those are pizza. We'll do a whole separate pizza mascots episode.
We do pizza mascots and we'll expand it to even the guy giving the okay sign on the box because I consider him to be a mascot just for fresh, hot, delicious pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to punch you. That's what he's doing that okay sign.
Is that what that is?
If you look through it,
yeah. But he has to be holding it below his waist, right?
That's right.
Yeah, if he's holding the okay sign below his waist and you look at it, he gets to punch you.
It's a static picture, so you can't tell, but he's lowering it in that picture.
I don't know why. I was going through some old photos and deleting stuff. For some reason, I had a vector image of that character just in my photo album.
Not surprising.
Yeah. Of the 40,000 photos I have in there, I'm a little sad that one never just popped up in the frame or in the like looping photos collection. Like, oh, there's me and my parents at Disney World. Oh, there's the guy from the pizza box.
Uncle Giuseppe.
Oh, Uncle Giuseppe. All right. So we're eliminating the pizza guys.
Okay. Yes. All right. So then let's start at Duncan because I mentioned Duncan.
Yeah. Duncan, a real human played by a real person.
Fred the Baker.
Yeah.
Who, for at least 10 years, created a catchphrase that everybody had stuck in their brain. This one's weird because Dunkin' Donuts is recent to the West Coast. But you and I, who grew up with Dunkin's reasonably close to us, you grew up with Time to Make the Donuts.
I barely grew up with Time to Make the Donuts.
Right.
I saw them. I was conscious of Time to Make the Donuts because where I grew up, it was all Krispy Kreme. Growing up in the South back then. Now we live in LA and the Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts are here.
Yeah. And there are a billion better donut places that you can find just by looking up donuts in Google Maps.
Oh, yeah. I highly encourage everyone to check out Tang's Donuts and the documentary about Tang's Donuts.
Yeah,
and
Donut
King,
right?
boom in LA. Donut King, yeah. Great.
So good. Oh, it's so good.
So fun.
And there are
but yeah,
of
Fred
great,
the Baker, he did the commercials. Michael Vale was the actor. And Michael Vale played Fred the Baker from 1981 to 1997.
Yeah.
So 16 years he played that character.
Just this Willy Loman of donuts who was bleary eyed. You'd see him get up at some ungodly hour. He hasn't spoken to his wife in months because they're on different schedules. And just the thing he repeats to himself, you can call it a mantra, you can call it a command, you can call it just sadness escaping through his mouth is time to make the donuts. Just no matter what he does, that is all he thinks about. He missed his kid's high school graduation and all the baseball games, every recital, because he's just too busy. Even if he was in the room, he was staring off into the middle distance and he was seeing Boston creams and coffee that people either love or hate and just saying time to make the donuts to himself over and over again.
Yeah. You know what phrases he never said? Time to watch the ball game.
Yeah. Or I love you.
Yeah. Time to buy the anniversary gift. Time to walk her down the aisle.
Time to practice self-care.
Do you think that Fred the Baker got up too early in the morning to properly be awake when he shaved, and that's why he was rocking a problematically narrow mustache?
Yeah, it's pretty close. That mustache was real close to bunker territory. It was real close.
We were close to the bunker. And you know what? You look at the pictures of him and you're like, sometimes it goes all the way to the corners in like a little trapezoid kind of way. And sometimes he looks like Bob Hoskins playing Hitler in a made-for-TV movie. So, wow. I don't know about old Fred the Baker.
Lifetime.
God bless him. He could really use this win.
Oh my God.
But I don't think he's going to get it.
I don't think he is either. It's just too sad. He feels like a tragic character. I feel like he does express joy when he's making the donuts, when people enjoy the donuts, but that's a weird parasocial relationship that he has with all of his customers. He's unhealthy. It does make you want to eat the donuts, so it does its job as a mascot. It is memorable to anyone who grew up around it. Like, you were on the tail end, but if I asked you about Fred the Baker and Dunkin' Donuts, you would say time to make the donut. Like, that would be, you would know it.
Yeah. I know, but I know it as in the same way that I know, like, that's a spicy meatball or where's the beef? Like, I was young enough that they were vaguely familiar in my mind. But the fact that, like, I mean, the big donut clock on the wall, it's time to make the donut. So not only the clock on the wall is a huge pink donut.
Yeah.
So you are looking at both time and the donut when saying, after you get up and get to work, it almost is like, I feel like the world he lives in looks like the beginning of that first Macintosh ad.
1984?
Yeah. Where everybody is just, everything is by that clock. And it's just 4 o'clock in the commercials. Look at these commercials. It's 4 a.m. when Fred the Baker is making the donuts.
All the baker training is done in front of that big screen with it. You are not individuals. You are bakers. It is always time to make the donuts. Everywhere you go, you will see donuts. Donuts everywhere, all the time. Donuts.
So with respect to Fred the Baker and mad respect to actor Michael Vale, who got a very proper send-off when he passed away from Dunkin' Donuts. They made him an honorary something or other. It's not like it was a proper thing. It wasn't like they filled him with jelly and dusted him with powdered sugar. Like, it was a meaningful and kind thing they did.
I thought you were going to say they threw him into a box with 11 other corpses.
And then by the end of the day, the vultures had just eaten like half of 9 of them. And you're like, come on, man, just eat a whole Fred the Baker.
He's resting in state in a break room at an industrial park, wrapped in wax paper.
Oh, this took a dark turn. We love you, Fred the Baker. You're not going to win.
You. No. Are the Chick-fil-A cows, are they real? I mean, I know they're not actually sitting out on the freeway on that bench telling people to eat more chicken.
Yeah. I think that is a funny bit. It's a good bit. It's a funny bit the first few times. We get it. The cows can't spell and they want you to eat chicken.
Yeah. And then don't think any more about it than that. Don't think about how aware they are of their own mortality and what happens to cows.
Yeah.
There is no Temple Grandin hugging machine that will make these cows feel okay when you zap them in the head and turn them into burgers. They will not go quietly into that good night.
Yeah. Their entire ad campaign it's not based on the deliciousness of the chicken. It's based on the fear of the alternative.
That's right.
Yeah. It is funny though. Growing up, like, we had the billboard that said eat more chicken with the full size cows on the billboards. I think that is a huge, great move by whoever was the advertising company for Chick-fil-A. 'Cause you look up and you go, is that a full size cow hanging a billboard?
Yep.
Like, it looks like a Far Side comic is happening in real life and frozen.
It does. It does look like that. If only their chicken was not terrible.
I don't hate the chicken.
I don't either, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
It's I'm really hungry. I have a very specific desire to have this. I would rather have a million other chicken. I would rather have KFC. You want to talk about another real life?
Yeah.
Or isn't Colonel Harlan Sanders?
I think Colonel Harlan Sanders is an interesting one in this because he's both. He is a real person. He's the founder of the company, not an actual military colonel, but a Kentucky colonel, which is a honor bestowed upon Kentucky citizens of note.
Yep.
Dude, like, was nuts back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, chased a guy down with a shotgun, used to just drive around, invented the pressure cooker. So the thing is, we can talk about Harlan Sanders as an American character who has been transformed into this pop culture figure that now a million different actors have played, and they've done an animated version. What do you think of Harlan Sanders?
I think he's more interesting as an actual person than he is. I think of him in that logo, that classic logo where he's not a silhouette, but that sort of like drawing, the sort of the Andre the Giant Obey style drawing of him that appeared on the logo. When I think about people and chicken, honestly, I think about Frank Perdue a lot more. It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken.
I do. That one did not make it to me, but I like that voice you did, and I want that sentence as a ringer.
Exactly. Well, we'll capture the audio for you.
Hal, I want you to take a second right now.
Okay.
And go online, open up that picture of Colonel Sanders, the one that's on the bucket and on the signs. You know the one I'm talking about.
I'm looking
because
right now.
Ever since,
Images. There he is.
Okay.
Yes.
Ever since I saw this meme, I don't know who's seen this meme, but ever since I saw it, it's the only thing I can think about. Those black lines at the bottom. That is not his neck ribbon. That is his tiny stick body. And now it's all I see.
Oh, he's the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the Slender Man also. Did you notice that they gave him like his new haircut? He's got sort of like the sweep over, like the cool guy sweep over.
Oh,
instead of the wavy, like it's very slight, but also like he looks like a quarter zip dude. He looks like he
definitely looks like a quarter zip
McDonald's.
dude. Yeah, he looks like he eats at current McDonald's, not cool McDonald's.
Yeah, he's got like Deep Valley Investments on the pocket of his fleece vest that he wears over a button down, and like expensive cowboy boots that have never ridden a horse.
Oh yeah, the Teddy Roosevelt approach. I'm wearing a cowboy suit from Brooks Brothers.
Yes, 100%.
But you know what? I got to give him credit. Once he was a Kentucky colonel, he owned it. He made it his entire persona. And he actually was the person who said to another young upstart who was creating his own fast food establishment, who used to work for Colonel Sanders. He said, if you're going to open your own place, you have to have an iconic mascot to represent it.
Yep.
In that way, it's almost as if when he said that to Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, he became sort of the mascot grandpa to the Wendy's logo. If you look at the Harlan Sanders and you look at Wendy, they're both in that style. There are only two colors in it.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know that a real person is going to be the mascot, though, that wins this.
No. By the way, Dave Thomas notably invented the takeaway bucket for KFC.
Oh, yeah?
That was his when he was an owner, I think, in Ohio.
No kidding.
He came up with that as a way.
The red and white striped bucket.
To take it up.
Yeah.
So
famous.
So there you have it.
All right.
He was destined for greatness. I don't think a person will win the real person thing.
No.
I think it's going to be Gidget, the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Voiced by one of We Got This is one of our guests, previous guests on We Got This. Yeah. Voiced by Carlos Alazraqui.
Yes.
Is Gidget problematic? Is Gidget a stereotype?
I think it's bad if you or I start breaking into impressions.
Yes. But Carlos is from Argentina.
Yeah, Carlos is, I mean, it's, I don't want to say it was the 90s, but it was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
And here's
it's
what.
Not quite Speedy Gonzalez.
No, it's not. But it is very particularly, like, it's making you think of a foreign land, which is funny because it was Taco Bell. If you didn't know, is named for Glenn Bell, the guy who created it.
Yeah. In Southern California.
Yeah. I mean, very smart, but it was not, I don't even think it was the number 3 fast food brand.
No.
In the 90s, but because of Gidget and because of Yo Quiero Taco Bell, it became that was a huge boost to the brand. So like people remember that dog. And it was a good choice to have him do like a very deep Ricardo Montalban-esque voice for this little tiny, cute little teacup looking Chihuahua.
So cute. Oh, Gidget was undeniably cute.
Yeah.
And never really, all Gidget was like this little ladies man. Gidget, a female dog voiced by Carlos. So playing a male dog or male presenting dog.
Yes.
And, all the ladies loved the Taco Bell dog, but he just wanted his Taco Bell, man. Ladies, please, not tonight. I'm just here to get Taco Bell.
Yeah. He he really stayed grounded as a character, despite all of his fame and all of he could have had anybody he wanted, and all he wanted was Taco Bell. Go figure.
You know?
I mean, he's a dog.
So many of these characters that we're going to talk about, they either want to give you the food or they want to eat the food.
Yes.
And the Taco Bell dog is representative of one of the ones that just wants to eat the food. We'll get to more of those later.
Yeah.
Specifically when we get to McDonald Land.
Well, are there any other live people that you think are worth mentioning up against Gidget, the Taco Bell Chihuahua?
Are we talking, no, when you say live people, do you mean characters that exist, like animated characters that exist within our world as opposed to McDonald Land? Or do you mean characters that were real people or played by real people?
That's what I thought you were saying, is there's real people. You got Fred the Baker, you got Colonel Sanders, you have the Taco Bell Chihuahua. But like, we're not counting Curly Top from Dairy Queen. This is a giant anthropomorphic.
No, Curly Top is terrible.
Yes.
That Arby's mitt is terrible.
Dumb.
So good job on the voice work by Tom Arnold for that.
Sure.
Who else do we have that's not in McDonald Land? Because there is one more major one I would like to talk about that isn't McDonald Land. All
right. You want a little in memoriam? I'll give you a little bit of in memoriam.
Give me a little in memoriam.
All right.
Or I'll just give you I'll give you whether or not I would applaud at the Oscars.
Okay. All right. Happy Star, Carl's Jr.
No applause.
Correct. Jollibee.
No applause.
Okay. Cuppy,
though,
also
I will
from
say
Dunkin'.
Jollibee, I like that they have the big standing Jollibee outside the Jollibee.
Yeah, he's hanging out there.
Yeah.
Cuppy, also from Dunkin', big anthropomorphic cup coffee.
No applause. A cup, get out of here. That's the laziest.
Churchy the chicken, who looks like a chicken that has not been fed.
What is happening? Churchy, Cuppy.
It's just this loose suit.
Ugh, no applause.
Okay, Frankie Man from Nathan's Famous, big hot dog.
Doesn't he only ever show up once a year on the 4th of July for the hot dog eating contest?
He's very busy otherwise. He has a lot of investments he has to manage.
No applause.
How about What a Guy, the superhero Whataburger mascot?
Pretty funny. I love What a Guy as a name for a character is very funny. A smattering.
Oh, smattering of applause.
Smattering, minimal, but minimal.
The Burger King.
Standing ovation. I'm glad you asked.
Even with that
Let's talk about the Burger King.
The guy who looks like that plastic mask that they put on. I like the original version where he's got the powdered wig and he's like King George, the madness of King George, because he's sitting on a hamburger, which only a crazy king would do. Now he looks like that head looks like it hosts key parties. And you don't know it's a key party until you show up. You think he's just giving you a place to store your keys so they're not jangling around in your pockets.
There were many iterations of the Burger King between those two different versions. So let's talk about some of the versions of the Burger King that we've had, because this is one of those characters that has really gone through a whole lot of changes to keep up with the times.
Yep.
So we're looking at the original Burger King was just like in 1955. That was the one that was sitting on top of a burger.
Yes.
In the powdered wig. Then comes the early 60s, and he was redrawn to match the animation style of the early 60s. And that was when that Burger King showed up in commercials sounding like Edwin, who they all always just wanted to sound like Edwin.
Of course. And he looked like a Jay Ward drawing. Like Rocky
looked exactly
style.
like a little Jay Ward drawing. Then in the 70s, or mid 70s, I guess, they introduced a human played the Burger King. And that human was a magician. I don't remember his name. Apologies to, if you're listening, if you're a listener to We Got This and you're the magician who played the Burger King. That version of the Burger King, who knows, man? That version of the Burger King was like a human version of what the Burger King looks like now. Yeah. But he would do actual practical magic tricks in the commercials. So like, I don't know why the king of all burgers is making a dove appear out of a silk scarf. We're not having I'm not having a McDove.
You don't know for sure.
It's true. I might.
Now you're thinking about it.
Now I am thinking about it. So he did these commercials for a while, but the beauty of this era of Burger King is not only did you get a human playing the Burger King, you got the Burger King Kingdom. Did you ever encounter the Burger King Kingdom?
I can't say that I did.
Oh, how? So just in the same way that McDonald Land was suable and winnably suable by Sid and Marty Krofft as a ripoff of H.R. Pufnstuf, this was the copy of the copy. So the Burger King Kingdom, they built their own collection of other characters. Look, man, we've heard of Birdie the Early Bird, the Fry Guys, Grimace, the Hamburglar. We know all the ones from McDonald Land. Let me tell you about some of the characters that were in the Burger King Kingdom. First of all, you had the magician, the Burger King, who inexplicably was like His Majesty Doug Henning. And then you had the Burger Thing, which was a hamburger puppet voiced by Frank Welker.
Sure.
You had my favorite, the Duke of Doubt, who did not believe that the Burger King was doing real magic. The Duke of Doubt looked like if Don Quixote was drawn by Tim Burton. Boy. So that's the Duke of Doubt. And these characters, they lasted for a while. They started in 1976 and were phased out by the end of the 80s for the most part. Duke showed up a little while later as well. There was the Wizard of Fries, which was a robot powered by the French fries and its glass dome head. And then my favorite, Sir Shake-a-Lot, who is a knight who drinks nothing but milkshakes and is always shivering. So if you are a knight wearing armor and you're always shivering, you're going to make lots of metallic clangy noises.
That's the
Imagine
diabetes.
if the Tin Man was going through withdrawal. That's what Sir Shake-a-Lot looked like.
Imagine if the Tin Man had type 2 diabetes. I don't have to. There's a lot of first thought, best thought happening in that room. All right, we got it.
Great, done.
Yeah.
So then they later on, I guess this was the mid 2000s, 2009, I think, somewhere around then, they introduced this new version that they call the Creepy King. Yep. And the Creepy King originated in a commercial for breakfast, for their new breakfast sandwiches, was where we first saw the Creepy King. And do you know where they got that head? Where they got the head of the Creepy King?
Anton LaVey's basement.
Yes, it was upside down and filled with other skull parts.
Cool.
No,
cool.
It was a helium tank cover. And as soon as I heard this, I remembered a helium tank like that from my local Burger King when I was a kid.
Wow.
So it was the helium tank cover designed to look like the human magician Burger King.
Okay.
They introduced this new Creepy King, and then they just saturate the market with him. He shows up in The Simpsons. He shows up battling Darth Vader in a commercial. Like, they use the heck out of this new version of the King. So I think the Burger King, more so than the Taco Bell Chihuahua, if we're taking someone out of not McDonald Land, I think the Burger King, for all of his myriad changes, changing with the times, you know, I think the Burger King is a great reflection of who we are and where we are as a fast food eating society.
Okay. So you want to take him over the Chihuahua?
That would be my argument, with respect to Carlos.
What about Jack from Jack in the Box?
Jack feels like a one note joke.
It's a lot of talking.
A lot of talking. Yeah.
And
if you have the volume off, you don't know what he's saying because he's got that weird snowman grin.
I'm also unclear what his job is at the company because sometimes it seems like he's CEO. There are other times where it seems like he does not have that much power. So he might be CEO in name only. And somebody else.
I think it's one of those things, where like he is technically the CEO, but really the board is doing a lot of it. And when he comes in, like, first of all, you can see him above the cubicles. So if the board's having a meeting and you see that little yellow hat poking up, coming toward you above the cubicles, you have enough time to go, guys, put these binders away. We don't need Jack to see this, which is where the binder has all the real stuff.
Yeah. They see the hat. They go, man is in the fryer.
Yeah. Man is in the fryer.
All right. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Burger King has made it through, but will he be able to beat whoever we take out of McDonald's land? We got to find out who that is first. So Come right back. Well, we'll come right back. You stay here. Yeah. You get what I mean. Just stop confusing me.
I understand it. Just hit pause, go hit a drive-through, see whatever character you want to see, and come right back.
Okay, we'll be here.
Actor Samantha Sloyan has played a lot of characters. Bev Keane in Midnight Mass, Miss Rohrbacher in the new film The Life of Chuck, Lily, the mother who diligently watches over her son in the hit medical drama The Pit. But what character really made Samantha Sloyan feel seen? That is Special Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks.
When you see somebody swing for the fences with almost like no sense of embarrassment or, just with total abandon, I'm just captivated.
Join me, Jordan Crucchiola, for that and more on the latest Feeling Seen from MaximumFun.org.
Hey there. Do you like books about various shades of gray?
Maybe 50 of them? Or books about winged men searching for soulmates?
Is your e-reader full of stories that would pair well with Barry White in the background?
We're Bria and Mallory of Reading Glasses, and we have a brand new show for people who crave reads with just a dash of sriracha sauce.
That's right. Every other Friday, we dive into books that can be measured on the Scoville scale and talk to the people who love them.
You can find our new show by visiting MaximumFun.org/spicy. That's MaximumFun.org/spicy.
What'd you get?
Ooh, did you get us something?
Yeah, what'd you get us? What'd you get us?
Can I have just one fry? Can I just have one fry?
Can I have 2 fries?
2 came out when I grabbed one, so I did have 2.
He could have both of them. That's the rule. Let me reach it with my whole hand like a skill crane. Just whatever I get is what I get. Oh, I got the whole thing. Here.
Oh, wow, you got the burger.
Yeah, I got the burger and fries. I have giant hands. A lot of people
do.
They miss that when they meet me.
You're like a real hamburglar, Hal.
Oh, robble.
Yeah.
Robble, everybody.
Let's go to McDonald Land.
Okay.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Robble. Let's talk about the Hamburglar.
Let's set up McDonald Land. McDonald Land was invented in, I think, 1970, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And they really did just straight up rip off Sid and Marty Krofft. Not just did it look like H.R. Puffin stuff. They went to Sid and Marty Krofft. Sid and Marty Krofft pitched them their idea, and they said, no, thank you, and then stole their ideas and just did them.
Yeah. America.
Yeah, America. So inside McDonald Land, we've got the OG characters, the ones that looked like the characters from H.R. Puffin stuff, specifically Mayor McCheese, Officer Big Mac.
Yep.
Both of those were just, I'm a human body and my head is the burger. So Mayor McCheese was a cheeseburger for a head.
That's right.
Officer Big Mac had a Big Mac for a head. You had Ronald McDonald, of course, the clown prince of McDonald Land.
Yep. Played by Willard Scott for a very long time from the Today Show.
Originally played by Willard Scott. Here's the little bit of backstory on that. 1961, Ray Kroc takes over. 1963, Ray Kroc wants to make TV commercials with this notion of doing them for kids on Saturday mornings. So he poached one of the bozos. And the bozo that he poached was Willard Scott.
Nice.
Did you ever see, so Willard Scott was the original Ronald McDonald. Did you ever see the original Ronald McDonald costume?
It's frightening. I remember it, the way I remember it in my head, and I haven't seen it in a long time, is it looked like a pile of rags pretending to be a clown.
Yeah, it was not rags. It was the paper items that the food is distributed in from McDonald's. So his nose
Awful.
was a soda cup.
Just terrible.
And I think on his head, he wore like cardboard box that they would give the food in, or it was horrifying. But he very quickly got a makeover into the clown that we know today.
I don't like Ronald McDonald.
Why
I don't
don't you
care
like
for
Ronald
him in any form. I think he's creepy. And I think they tried to make him into like a Bugs Bunny, especially later on where he's doing more like, I'm making a door out of anything and I can always make the arches out of the palms of my hand. But it does not pull it off. Not interested. All your friends are cooler than you. All your friends are cooler than you, Ronald.
Yeah.
Even your enemies, cooler than you. The cop is cooler than you, Ronald. Maybe it's time to step back.
Well, look, Hal, he's got a lot of responsibility. He can't be a one-note character. He has to be multifaceted. He has to be a relatable classic clown because he's surrounded by all these other characters and he's the face of the company. He's the face of McDonald's. He is, if you are trying to draw kids into your store, that is what he does. Also, I saw this, someone pointed out, and I thought it was very funny. All of McDonald land, there's a whole area where French fries just grow naturally. You can reach up in a tree and grab a burger. The whole land is made out of McDonald's food. And yet there is a McDonald's in the middle of McDonald land. Why would you go shop and pay money for the fries that are literally 10 feet away outside?
It's a land grab by Ray Kroc. If you ever watch the movie The Founder, you can see sort of how he did it. It's a really good movie. It stars Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc.
Yeah. But Ronald McDonald, he's the face of the company. He also, I think we have to give him a lot of points for Ronald McDonald House. If we're looking at this character, man, this character has built residences all over the world, near hospitals, near children's hospitals, so that the families don't have to worry about a place to stay.
He didn't build those things.
Wait, what do you mean he didn't build those things?
He didn't build those things. He didn't know how to swing it. That guy hasn't swung a hammer. Look at his hands. Soft clown hands. It is
yellow glove, kind of soft clown hands.
Yeah, yellow glove, soft clown hands. He doesn't know the difference between a bandsaw, a circ saw, or a jigsaw. He doesn't know. He doesn't know the difference.
All right, man.
He just puts his name on it. He shows up. I mean, look, I'm glad he shows up. I'm glad the kids are excited to see him. They might not be anymore. They might be like, where's Birdie the early bird?
Yeah, I want to stay at Grimace House.
Wouldn't you rather stay at Grimace House? How much fun does Grimace House? I'd rather stay at
Burger King Castle.
Because you're afraid. Yeah, of course. You're in love with the Burger King. That creepy.
I love the Burger King.
The creepy swinger trying to sell you burgers.
Look, Ronald McDonald, he started off a lot creepier, obviously, with the original Willard Scott version, and a very in-your-face kind of like, hey, kids, kind of vibe to him. But like through the years, he really mellowed, and then he became just kind of like the cool adult that was showing the kids this animated world. And he was always on the side of good.
Yeah.
He's very forgiving of his friends. The Hamburglar started off, was constantly getting arrested by Officer Big Mac, but Ronald McDonald nowadays is like, oh, that's just who the Hamburglar is. I recognize in him that he has this compulsion. I try to get the burgers back from him. It's okay. I always get the burgers back from him. He just needs to act out. So I do like that Ronald McDonald, in a weird way, is a positive role model.
Yeah.
But Ronald McDonald is also the face of anytime anything goes bad at McDonald's, the political cartoons are always unflattering depictions of Ronald McDonald. And yet he perseveres.
Yeah. Still around, limited role. He's not as public facing as he once was.
Yeah, they really don't. I forgot what year it was, but they really stopped focusing on kids as much with all of these.
Yeah.
And it really became about the drive-through and the pickup orders.
Kids don't have money. You know who they should bring back?
And the kids convinced the parents to go.
You know who they should bring back?
Who should they bring back?
The dark horse candidate for the best McDonald Land character.
The captain?
No.
The Filet-O-Fish captain?
Mac Tonight.
Oh.
Moon for a head.
Mac never existed in McDonald Land. He existed on the rooftops of New York, wasn't it?
He's everywhere. He's in your heart if you let him in, Mark.
I like Mac. Mac Tonight, I loved the animatronics show.
Played by Doug Jones, the premier character person.
He's premier only behind character person.
Yeah, he was the fish guy in Shape of Water, and he was Abe Sapien in Hellboy. He does a lot of those, like, I play people in these weird... He's like what would have happened to Anthony Daniels if Anthony Daniels hadn't gotten C-3PO, and he just had to do a series of different characters.
Yeah.
That's Doug Jones. He's like a lithe dude, and he was inside for, I think, 27 of the 29 commercials. It was Doug Jones in there, and then a guy named Brock Wilson, I think maybe, was the voice. So it was a different voice, and he's singing Mac the Knife. He's singing in
Mac
the style.
Tonight.
He's singing Mac Tonight in the style of Bobby Darin's classic Mac the Knife, sued by the Darin estate by his son.
Was he?
So that kind of put it.
I mean, not him. I say he, like Mac Tonight was the one who was personally sued. How did he get into the courtroom with half of a moon for a head?
Sideways.
And also, do you think that the court artist had an easier time or a harder time? Like, man, I'm used to drawing human heads and their expressions.
So much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier. So much easier.
Just I guess that's true.
I just have to
also, he always wore sunglasses.
Right. You can't see what his eyes look like. It's because he was high. Really, really high.
Well, yeah.
There's still a couple of places. There's one in Wisconsin, I think one in Florida, where there's an animatronic Mac the Knife who sits at a piano. So he still exists.
In Florida.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way he's actually going to win, but he's just too creepy not to bring into this. What if the moon was one of the Blues Brothers? I think it would go a little something like this.
I don't want to eliminate Ronald McDonald just yet, just because he's... I want to wait. Let's hold on to Ronald McDonald for right now. Should we talk about the Hamburglar?
Sure.
Can I tell you one of my favorite sketches I ever got to do at Second City? Mm-hmm. I think this was a Julie Dove sketch.
Yeah.
And it was the Hamburglar and his wife in a couples counseling session. And the Hamburglar has a beautiful monologue that he delivers to his wife about everything that he's been going through. And the only lines he said was "robble, robble" for like 4 minutes. It was the most fun I ever had. Pure gibberish, like getting to do real acting while playing the Hamburglar and just saying "robble, robble."
That's really funny. Oh, that's a perfect Mark Gagliardi bit to have.
It was so fun.
Like having you do it, it's perfect choice.
Oh, thank you.
That's really, really good.
I love the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
The newer design Hamburglar, he's been redesigned after the lawsuit and the Sid and Marty Krofft. Like they can't look like this anymore. Yeah. Also, for those I mentioned the captain briefly. The captain was one of the old characters along with the professor who immediately went away after that lawsuit. And, but the only thing that the captain wanted was, he was basically the Hamburglar, but for fillet of fish, because he was in a boat on the water. But yeah, I've always liked the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
He's one of those cool, kitschy kind of like second tier McDonald's characters that everybody knows. Everybody knows what his whole deal is. But when you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He knows what he wants. He's not afraid to go after it.
So the Hamburglar's a bit one note. The Hamburglar's a lot of fun. I don't know that the Hamburglar is a dense enough character to win this.
No, he's kind of one note.
Yeah.
I think we can eliminate him and the Fry Guys and the Chicken Nuggets, who oddly not only seem okay with the fact that they're going to eventually perish because their whole function is to be eaten and swallowed and chewed and turned into waste, but they are like so excited to jump into, I don't know. Look, maybe it's that. Or maybe they think they're getting a nice little bet. Like, you know what's real fun? Jumping in honey mustard and then nothing happens. Like, I don't know what their deal is.
Do you think that they're that delusional about why they're jumping into honey mustard?
I don't know. I kind of want that for them. I'd rather they not know what's going to happen rather than go like, I will be turned into a turd. A glorious future. We live to serve. To serve is to be eaten. To be eaten is to be transferred into a BM. I'm loving it.
So you would, rather than that, you would rather have Lenny the Chicken McNugget look away from you and tell you about how he's going to tend the rabbits as you slowly dunk him into sweet and sour sauce. Is that it?
Very much so. I would much rather have that.
Yeah, I get it. Hal, let me tell you a story.
Please.
In the early days of McDonald Land, there was a 6-armed big purple monster
Right.
That 6-armed big purple monster was named the Evil Grimace.
Yeah.
The Evil Grimace wanted one thing. Shakes.
Yeah.
Milkshakes, and specifically the cups that the milkshakes came in. For some reason, he just wanted the cups as well. And so he lived in his cave, and he had a giant pile of cups around him from all of the milkshakes that he had drunk.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the introduction of Grimace. The Evil Grimace, one of the original 3 villains, along with the captain and with the Hamburglar. Then the Evil Grimace, I don't know what happened, but a couple of years after he was introduced, he and Ronald McDonald were friends.
Yeah.
Did he have a moment where what's the opposite of a heel turn?
Face turn.
A face turn?
Yeah.
Grimace is the only character out of these that had a legit face turn.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, his whole backstory was retconned to where he and Ronald McDonald were born together at the same time and grew up together.
Yeah.
And then years later, the animators that animated Rugrats, that same style,
they
introduced the world to the history of Grimace, who was born on and came from Grimace Island, which is a floating island full of grimaces.
Yeah.
Grimaces who were going to take out the rest of the McDonald Land crew until they saw Grimace and realized he was one of their own. He has 2 aunts named Millie and Tilly that have shown up in commercials.
Mm-hmm.
He has introduced in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. He has his Uncle O'Grimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what Uncle O'Grimacy was there to promote?
Shamrock Shake, sure.
The Shamrock Shake, of course. So then years go by. Grimace is, you see his story. You learn about Grimace Island and all of the grimaces that live there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of disappears for a long time.
Sure.
Grimace reappears a few years ago in a commercial that shows Grimace throughout his entire life eating at McDonald's every year on his birthday, which is, I believe, in June, the early teens of 12, 13, something like that. Early June is Grimace's birthday.
Okay.
He had a mullet when he was a teenager coming in for his, I believe, 16th. He ate those very nuggets that we were talking about earlier. And then McDonald's introduces the Grimace Shake.
Yeah, the purple one. Mm-hmm.
The purple Grimace Shake.
Sold
and
out.
The purple Grimace Shake is berry flavored, is vanilla and berry flavored shake. And you want to talk about weird stuff on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
The kids on TikTok, God bless them, have you seen any of these videos of the Grimace Shake?
I absolutely refuse.
Oh, Hal. It's so fun. They all begin the same way. With some TikTok influencer eating a Grimace Shake and enjoying it and loving it. And they end like it's the Blair Witch Project with them covered in purple shake in the most like cut from the movie Seven type scenes. And it is a delightful, weird thing that happens. Not only that, then the big question becomes McDonald's drops a tweet that says some people think that he is a taste bud, but most people know him as a milkshake. He is made of milkshake. He's purple fur on the outside, milkshake on the inside. Until a few years ago, when a McDonald's franchise owner points out that Grimace is, in fact, a taste bud and not, as we had all previously thought, made of milkshake. So Grimace is one big taste bud who is constantly, every time something touches him, he is tasting it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he likes milkshakes so much. I don't know. But thank you to the internet, by the way, for this rabbit hole that I went down of delightful, weird Grimace stuff. I mean, I know Ronald McDonald is the face of the company, but just for sheer weirdness, I love Grimace. Now, isn't there's a athletic team of some sort that use it, that now people are bringing grimaces to their games?
The Mets had a Grimace moment last year.
Okay. 2023 was when Grimace resurfaced in this very weird way.
Yeah.
The same way that, like, if it does wind up being Grimace versus the Burger King, then it is a creepy off.
I mean, I feel bad for Grimace because he's living this weird Memento / Total Recall / Truman Show existence where his true past has been hidden from him and retconned so many times that he's trapped in this labyrinth in his own mind with no way out. He'll never escape. He can never learn who he was. Everything's just wrapped up. Everything means something different. There are hints. All the hints are there.
Post-it notes all over his cave.
He'll never see. He's tattooed.
Yeah. Underneath that purple fur, just hundreds of tattoos. He goes, what is Grimace Island? That's how he discovered that part of it.
Yeah.
There's a map on me.
Yeah. So I kind of want to take him through for that reason. Also, don't you want to hug? Who would you want to hug the most? You want to hug Grimace because he's a big blob. Sure, he'll taste you, but that's his problem, not yours.
Yeah. It'd be his problem right now because I was at work all day and then I was dealing with some stuff, like some hardware stuff in the apartment, and I wouldn't taste good right now.
I did a 2-mile walk at lunch in the heat, so I don't think he'd
if
want
you
to hug
Grimace,
me either.
He's going to taste you.
Well, that's his problem, not mine, like I said.
But Hal, is that a subjective answer? With this show, our job is to objectively answer these questions.
He's the best one.
Is it a subjective answer? You think he's the best one?
I think he has endured above everybody else, including Ronald McDonald, who more exists in name. But I think the fact that he captured a new generation of children who are not talking about Ronald. They're not talking about Birdie. They're not talking about Mac Tonight. Bless his heart. They're not even talking about the Hamburglar, who we all love. That would feel more subjective if we took the Hamburglar through because we both like him. But I think Grimace there's something about him. I think he kind of endures. He's the one that you like the most.
Yeah.
He's Han Solo to Ronald McDonald's Luke Skywalker. Like, the movie's about Luke, but everybody's talking about Han.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the fun character.
Yeah.
I would have thought he was the Chewbacca.
No.
Starts as a nemesis. Right. And then, at least to Han in Solo, starts as an antagonist anyway until he quickly turns around and becomes this big, plush, lovable sidekick.
Well, Han is a scoundrel who becomes a hero.
That's true.
Grimace shot first. Yeah, he doesn't remember that either. Grimace slurped first. Grimace tasted first.
Yeah.
All right, so Grimace versus the Burger King. I can't let that creep show win, Mark. I can't. He's awful. I'm glad he made it through, but he is the creepy ass mascot from a mid fast food place where nothing they make is the best version of that thing, even if nobody else makes it.
Yeah. And I like that Grimace's latest resurgence and newfound horror movie iconness kind of vibe, like this new version of Grimace that we've got is not a creation of McDonald's. It is a creation of the zeitgeist.
Yeah. People of the world.
This is a surprise.
People of the world. I actually have a recording of Grimace. I'm going to play it right now. If things have gone wrong, I'm talking to myself and you don't have a wet towel around your head. Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise. You are not you. You're me. Grimace, the multi-armed monster who just wants to steal all the milkshakes. No shit. Grimace is the best fast food mascot, asked and answered.
Now I'm totally recalling my last Happy Meal.
Did you eat it 2 weeks ago?
No, I ate it yesterday. Not proud of it. Not proud of it.
And then afterwards you said to the toilet, get ready for a surprise.
Oh, yeah. Bring us home, Hal. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I did.
I know
it's
that
done.
you were. I know. Oh, that was it. It's just it's Grimace. All right. This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or
you can reach out to us on the social media at We Got This Podcast, with the exception of Instagram, where we are at We Got This Show. There's our Facebook group, and of course our Discord. We'd love to have you there. bit.ly/WGT Discord. Thank you to producer Ken Plume for the producing and the topic. Thank you to researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, whom we would love to fill with milkshakes until your purple fur was all plushed up and then give you great big hugs. Why are you making that face, Hal? Should I reverse it? Should we be the grimace and then we taste them? We taste the people of the world. You know what? This is falling apart. We just want to say thank you. We do this show. We have a lot of fun doing it. And it's because of you that we do this. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. So to you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows
supported
directly by you.